What's up, y'all? Welcome in. Good day to you today. I appreciate you. Um, Thank you all for rocking with me. Like, follow, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And let's check in for today's messages. Welcome to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Empress Danny, pouring you up a hot cup of joe. The intent here is to get your day off to a bright and beautiful start, right? I just heard no bad news, okay? I don't get an energy of being rejecting of, news perhaps, but just being in a position where it has to be practical, it has to be grounded, it has to be secured, okay? So it's almost like don't bring me no foolishness type of energy. And this is because there are some things that you've had to recover from. And in the period of time that you have recovered, I do feel like on an emotional level, you've raised the standard. The feel goods are not enough for you anymore. It's not necessarily solely about personal satisfaction. It's about knowing that something is pleasing, right? If you think about that, I get an energy at play today that's like the difference between someone doing something because they feel obligated and someone who does something because they find pleasure in. What's the difference? It's like going to work because I gotta go to this stupid job versus having a desire, right? I really want to be here. I love what it is that I do. I get an energy of things of that nature. I'm inspired, and it's my desire perhaps to inspire others. Wherein is the passion rooted? There's really a significance of it's not disconnection from the lower chakras, but it's fully engaging the higher chakras in such a way that this is like when your life is fueled by purpose, when your relationships are rooted in a deeper mission that has to do with mutual desires, right? We want the same things, our intentions are the same. Our passions perhaps, and I'm not getting the same as an identical, right? This can mean like, you like different things. I don't think that that's the issue, but I just get the energy of like the general passion or zest with which you do what it is that you do, perhaps to some degree or in some way is shared. And it's almost like realizing the same spirit is what's fueling you, or again, whether this is a company mission or otherwise. I just heard I can rock with that mission. So I do feel like many of you are in a position where you're recognizing in whatever way you're being led. And whenever you realize that you're being led, you know that there's a sense of satisfaction that can't be denied. So if it puts you in a position where you're raising the standard, right, on what you call love, this could even be on some of the things that you accept or that you tolerate, what you're comfortable with, then I feel like you know that if you don't do that, then you won't get what it is that you want. And again, not in a spoiled way, but more so in a way that has a desire to release the fluff from life, right? I don't want this is like, don't gas me up. Don't gas me up type of energy. Don't gas me up. Don't just tell me something that sounds good. Don't just tell me, what feels good. This is like, no, what really on the other side it brings, satisfaction to the heart and what feels like a demonstration of understanding of that. And it's almost like if you knew the heart or the reasons behind, then you would understand maybe it is why this is so important to me, why this means so much to me. There's something of that nature, okay? And it could very well be like why I do what I do. There is also this energy that's like, I don't know if I'm dealing with people who you have maybe a past or a history. Hey Trey, welcome in, love. Thank you for the roses. I appreciate that. And thank you to those others who have joined as well. It's not my intent to ignore you, your questions or anything like that. But this is a show, and trust me, when I'm just channeling from what spirit is speaking to me, it's long enough. And so on this particular live, I don't take questions, and I try to disregard comments too, for the most part, so that I can simply deliver the messages, because I am getting a lot of them. And that's very standard at the top of the day. So don't feel slighted, right? We'll be back. We always come back. Just so that you guys know, if you're here and you're new and you haven't followed, tap that plus sign, give the channel a follow. There is a link in the bio to the Patreon, which houses all the contents, including the replays from TikTok. So if you ever miss a live, they're available on Patreon. I encourage you to join. It's a free membership, and there are paid tier options available as well. But we're going to continue with these messages. After I do Patreon, I go to Spotify and I do a 5 to 7 minute there. And then usually after about 10 minutes, I'll come back here, or we'll do a live on Patreon and get extended messages. So beyond what this is, that's when I'll go into greater detail. And usually I'll pay a bit more attention to the comments. So if there are questions or things of that nature, well, stay locked in because I'll be right back. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and get into the messages, because sometimes this is like having a past. And I'll be honest, in my meditation, y'all forgive me, in my meditation I was picking up the energy. I don't know if someone was maybe perceived to be a liar, and I'm not sure what maybe it is. It was said that they maybe lied or were dishonest about, or this could be like they hiding or they covering something up. Something I do feel has been confirmed. I was picking up in specific, and I know this won't resonate for everyone. Someone is like, I do get the energy of someone who is upset, because this is like someone who's, I was getting the energy of someone who maybe is calling someone like a hoe or something like that. Take it as you will. But then someone discovers that a person is not, it's almost like they are not a hoe. They got great is literally what I heard very specifically. They got great. And someone like, they know this now. This like, it's almost like, I don't know if someone told the story of what they've gone through. I just heard of someone seeing the scars, and they know what that looks like. There's something of that nature where someone is like, no, I know. And it gives like being upset. So being in a position where there's a desire to defend someone because of what it is that they went through, and knowing what they went through. So some of you, it just kind of feels like I was getting a very strong sense of like abuse, where someone was getting beat up. And I don't know why I feel this very strong energy of like someone wanted to, the intent was to do damage. They intended to do damage, and that's very clear to someone. So if you've been in that situation or circumstance where someone did something and their intent was to do damage, I just heard pursued. So there could be something like that. It gives like someone was after you. And some of you, this could certainly be spiritually. Someone was after you. It feels as though today in comes what feels spiritual sensitivity, what comes an understanding of that. I know they were trying to hurt you. They were trying to, what could be ruin you. There's something like that. As I hear his eyes on the sparrow. So some of you may have felt as though you weren't seen. I also just heard you may have felt as though nobody got your message. But I feel the energy where today something comes in that demonstrates understanding. That is me. I pray I can forgive, but I can't forget. That's the right prayer to pray. I think a lot of times we want to forget, but every experience provides us with something that is that suits us, a beneficial lesson of sorts. And a lot of times our desire to forget is really just we don't want to feel the pain associated. And so if we can forgive instead of trying to forget, then it'll help us to transmute the pain into something that is much more pleasurable. Um, Transmission is a word that came up for me in meditation. Thank you, Larry, and thank you for the follow, Kevin. I appreciate that. I hope that others of you will give the channel a follow as well. Transmission came up, and for some of you, there could be significance around the transmission, the train of a car. I also feel that for many of you, a transmission is often when there's something imparted. So if you think about what a transmission does in a car, it's the gears that shift, that allow the vehicle to move or operate at varying speeds. And so some of you may be in a position where perhaps through some sort of transition, the mission is perhaps to change. There could also be some significance also around trans, but if the mission is to change or to transition, if that's the desire, then something coming through today could be a demonstration of understanding. I want to change, whether that's I want to change myself, I want to change my mind, I want to change what could be like, again, going from what could be like feelings, right? I want to change your mind, could be what that is. Thank you again for the roses. That means a lot. I feel like your potential in some way is unfolding, and you're going to see this in what could be like, yes, this could be careers, clients, jobs, but I get the energy of saving grace, saving space perhaps, but then realizing, again, if his eye is on the sparrow, that whatever it is that you've been giving of yourself to, I just heard that's going to be feeding you. So it feels as though, if you've had your eye on something or someone, they may be having their eye, they have maybe had their eye on you. Again, absolutely. If you, Thugger, if you just message me, inbox me, just send me a DM, I check them, and I'll get back with you. But I feel the energy that is, I don't know why I just heard the worm. It's giving like, if you think about a baby bird, right? The mother bird comes and literally puts the worm, it finds the food and it feeds it. So I get this energy. And again, whether this is actual food, whether this is like, sometimes this is where emotionally you feed someone. And it's some things that people do for you and you feel it in such a way that you're so happy. I hear Stevie Wonder. Over time, I've been building my castle of love just for two, though you never knew you were my reason. There could be something that someone, their mission has been to change a situation, circumstances, and it could very well be to change, their mind about what they've been through, to change your mind about some things that have transpired. There's a very strong mirroring energy. I get maybe even someone wants to change. This is like, this could be like something about who I am is not showing, or it's not apparent, or it's not clear. And so it feels like the energy of wanting to give light to, this could be some emotions, right? Wanting to give light, wanting to express, wanting someone to feel, or wanting someone to understand what their intentions are, what I wanted, what I meant to do, what I just heard what I meant to say. So that could be significant. There is an energy of talent at the top of the day. I just heard goosebumps. So this could certainly be giving someone chills. I do feel this energy of having the chills. Goosebumps was, I don't know why it's bringing up like there could be something significant, significant around novels, right? I remember when I was in school, we used to read. They were like thriller stories. Goosebumps, though, was a series, and they were a series of books. They were novels, but I want to say they made them into movies and other things like that. So there could be some significance around Goosebumps. I honestly get the sense of like you're going to feel goosebumps, which gives almost like this eerie feeling. But it doesn't feel scary. I have to say that it's an eerie feeling, but it doesn't feel scary. Um, what it does, it's almost like walking in the dark, but you're not fearful because you've already been on the yea though I walk. So the shadow space doesn't scare you. You actually navigate it very well because of the things that you've been through before. And for some of you, this could have to do with like writing a book, but it's almost like I could have wrote the book is what it gives, and something gives. I don't know why I get a chilling vibe. Chilling, something is significant about like being very chilling, and this could be someone's story. I'm picking up like there's something significant with Robert Kelly. So some of you, I don't know, there I guess keep an eye on headlines if that's of interest to you. But there's definitely something significant around Robert Kelly right now, and these names could be significant in meditation. And y'all, I'm getting a lot of messages, so it is what it is today. Y'all know I try to keep it brief, but gonna deliver what comes through. I meditation. I remember there was a prophet, and this is some of you guys know that I have a pretty long-standing background in religious sector, operating in most functions of a church. And I say this because I recall what came up in my spirit at the top of the day as I was meditating was a prophet, and I want to say his name was Robert Brown, if I'm not mistaken. So any of these names could be, like I said, could be significant. Take them as you will. But this particular prophet, I remember he had visited the church that I was attending at the time, and he noticed a purity in me. And why do I say that, right? I say that because he didn't know me from Adam. Okay, so we had never met before. I was simply there, and I was always there, but he didn't know that. And so when he came, it was like for a revival, so he was invited as a special guest. And when he came, I would just be, doing my normal thing like I do. And when he got up to speak, he after had an altar call, and when it was time to lay hands on people, he asked me to come up out of nowhere. I'm like, okay, I'm just a willing vessel. So he asked me to come up, and he used me to lay hands on people. He would say, touch them, lay your hands on, put your hand on our belly, do the, he was using me. And so it let me know that he saw something in my spirit where the Holy Spirit told him, that's the one. And so for some of you, because he came up in my spirit, there could be people on your mind today, or God could be placing you on people's mind. I get the energy of pointing you out, and in some way or another, it's almost like because of the fact that you're gifted, and while everybody may not see the fact that you're gifted, everybody may not see the nature of your talents, because some of you, there could be something about the shadow space, right? When I talk about goosebumps, there could be an aspect of your nature that gives people chills. Some people, when they're frightened, right, it scares them away. Others, yeah, it may give me chills, right, but it may prompt them to what could be like explore it further, right? That darkness, right? The shadow space, the hidden aspects. So there could be something about that today where everyone doesn't see you. Maybe it is for who you are, doesn't see or notice your talents. Some people may even be off put by them or afraid of them. But this feels like, in some way, at the top of the day today, there's connection made. That is a realization or an awareness that touches you. And I have to say, it's earth energy. So this could certainly be touches you in a way. This could be like making contact. It could also be touching you. For some of you, this could be financially. This could also be information, right? That is, again, knowing maybe it is what to tell you, the details to give you the information. It gives like what it is that you needed to hear and understanding, or what you needed to know in order to understanding. This is what feels like producing production of some sort. Okay, more earth midday. So this tells me then, I'm sorry, I'm going to pull these cards, that way I can go ahead and get moving. I'm not intentionally delaying. I also heard the name Delaney could be significant. We end the day with ether, just so you guys know. I do feel an energy where if the intent is to make it better, if the intent is to bring something back together, if the intent is to reconcile, if there's something of that nature, if I don't know why it's giving like I want you to feel good, I want you to feel better, I want you to be happy, or I want to fix this. Something makes me feel like that's going to be revealed or made known in some way. Unique. I don't know why I just get the energy of like an alien where someone is, it's different. Yeah, I just heard extraterrestrial. So it does feel somewhat otherworldly in nature, where something about someone, the nature of them, or the way I just heard that they proceed, the way that they, I don't know why it gives the energy of like, people who I just heard scurry off and do what they do. Um, I just heard something significant about raccoons. People who scurry off and what feels like do what they do, but then I don't know why it gives like at just the right time or just the right moment. Um, Energetically, they're connected, so they know what feels like when to, what could be like touch base. Again, it gives like there's a sense of knowing what to do, and it giving a confidence. Someone is certainly shining, is what it feels like. It feels like someone is. It feels like who they are is being made clear. Yeah, I just heard you're an original, so I do feel this energy of like, if there are people who, I don't know if they want to run away. Yeah, I hear Whitney run to you. Or if I feel like if there are people that want to run away, just let them be, let them go their direction or their path. I also feel like if you're in a position perhaps where there's something or someone that you want to run to, then I feel like just let yourself be and go the direction it is that you know that you're being led. Because I feel the energy of whether this is a person or a partnership, there's something that stands in agreement with your soul, and I feel like you're going to know that. I also just heard that's going to be proven. Okay. There's something significant about a rescue. I hear two songs. Come on, baby, and rescue me. So this could be like, but I also hear, come and rescue me. Um, and so it could be someone who's in a situation, maybe they're in a difficult, again, predicament. It gives like someone has been going through something. I just heard bludgeon. Like I said, I don't know why I'm really picking up a heavy energy. That's something that someone has been through. Yes, it may be spiritual, but it's physical. I get the energy of somebody, I have to be honest, being groomed for battle. Whipped. Something was done to someone. I hear Leandria. Lord, deliver me. All I seem to do is hurt me. Hurt me. I hear the name Yeba. I also hear Brian Courtney. You are full of mercy. God forgive me. You are full of grace and truth. We worship you, Almighty God. You are a redeemer. You are our source and strength. I don't know why I don't know why I get an energy of like adoration. Some of you, this is to you, adoration is coming to you. Someone is going to show you in ways that I feel you needed to know that they adore you. There's something significant about an ornament. Thank you. Whatever this is, it's going to be very natural. Something about the day has to do with things that are natural. This means that if someone is, I just heard a natural lie, right? I don't know why it gives, like if someone is very selfish or self-seeking, something about their nature is going to be revealed or be shown. You're so selfish. This can also be seen within yourself. I am so selfish, right? In realizing like, if that's not who I want to be, but that is what I have become, then this is me in a position where I realize if that's what I intend to do, then I'm going to have to start showing it. So I do feel like this leads talking about transmission. This leads or moves someone then to switch gears. There's also like if there has been this nature that is, I hear India Ari, I'm ready for love. This feels like approving of that. Okay, it feels like, again, if it's in my nature to prove I'm ready for love, there's someone's proving that it feels in something it is that they do. And this could be like, I'm ready to be shown love in business. They're proving that by what feels like doing the job, putting in the work. If someone's ready for love in a romantic sense, this is someone who is committing, is what it feels like. Oh my God, what purity is shining through. If I want to show you that I'm really for you and not against you, it gives like, and sometimes this is like the ways that we challenge God, where we say, God, you know again, Tony, you know my other side. But you know the purity in my nature. You know the nature of who I am. You know my name. I hear Tasha Cobb. So some of you, this could certainly be, I don't know, there could be some significance around calling you by name, calling someone by name. I do feel like you're being asked to, I don't know why I feel like, to slow things down. To be able to see the purity in something or in someone. To be able to see what feels like their nature or who they really are. This could even be in a circumstance. Slow down. To become clear about things. I also feel this energy where some of you, it's not necessarily about pace. That's not something you struggle with. What you maybe have struggled with is like an inability or difficulty slowing down, right? This could be trying to keep up, trying to keep up with the Joneses, and spirit may have you getting back to an aspect of yourself that realizes fine wine, it's just something that you can't expedite the aging. It happens naturally. So this can be, some of you don't grow up too soon, but it's almost like also realizing like allowing something to take place organically. And this is like, I don't have to do all of that. I don't have to, what could be like, um, I don't have to go through everything it is that I've been going through. Something makes me feel like if you've had a lot of weight on you, then something is coming in today that's going to bring in more of a natural pace so that you don't feel as, it's almost like so that you know, like, I can take it easy. I don't have to keep doing all that. I do feel, slow down. Whatever this is like, knowing that something is natural. Yeah, I hear Destiny's Child. It's so natural to give my love. It's so easy, feels like second nature, second nature. This is like something, again, if it's business, it's second nature. This is just in my nature. This is what I do naturally. I don't really have to put a whole lot of effort into it, right? Um, it's no pressure. It's like a relationship, and this could be between friends, between people. It's, this is second nature. This is just, it's almost like things develop organically, right? It's not forced with you. It's not faked with you type of thing. If it's a job, it's the same thing. It's like, man, and it's almost like realizing like I don't have to rush with you. Um, I hear a lot of like slow jams coming in. Yeah, I hear Usher play another slow jam. This time make it sweet on a slow jam for my baby, for me. Um, what is that? I'm hearing the second part of that song. When you took my hand, said, would you like to dance? Shine my world and make my dreams come true. Look in your eyes. I can't remember the words off the top of my head, but it feels the energy. If you think about a slow jam, right? When, say, you are dancing, if you will, right? If it's unnatural, right? I don't know why it gives like a very sensual nature is what I feel to today. Something about today has a lot to do with, I feel touch. I feel the energy of touch, and it's like it's natural. Like I want to touch you, or I want to. It gives this energy of versus it being forced. Like, I feel like I have to. I don't want to touch you. Type of. There's something of that that's at play. And again, this could be like feeling forced to talk to someone, like, what now? Versus what feels like, oh man, when I connect with you, like, it's almost like connection is easy. It's just so natural. I can be myself. I don't know why it gives like, it doesn't matter how I look. It doesn't matter, maybe it is kind of like my verbiage, my language, my lingo, things of that nature. I don't have to pretend because what feels like you, there's something that is kind of like, it's almost like you know my heart. Um, Thank you for the follows, y'all. I appreciate that. If you haven't followed, I would ask that you do that now. We're going to get a Cartomancy card, and then we're going to make our way over to I hear Bruce Almighty trying to make his way home. Right? That's what if God was one of us. Obviously, that is definitely not his song, but I don't know. I love that movie so much, and that's what that song reminds me of. But I hear that part where he says that, so there could be something significant around God. I do feel a surprising energy. Okay, so whatever this is, forgive me. Oof. can't lie, y'all. I'm like, my body. Danny needs to go get a massage. That may resonate too. I know massage is not for everyone, but from a spiritual perspective, it's something that is a regular part of my routine because of the fact that spiritual work takes energy. When you are taking energy from others, and some of you, this is good for you to know, period. When you are taking energy from others, right? And this is kind of like if you do anything in a healing profession where you are taking energy from others, what you're doing is taking their pain and you're imparting to them. There's a transmission where you're giving to them of your vitality. And some of you need to know when you're doing that, you have to transmute the energy that you take on. And so for me, when I'm doing, whether it's spiritual work or sometimes it's physical or otherwise, when I recognize I'm taking on a lot of energy, one of the ways that I release is through massage. It helps me break down because I tend to hold that in my body. I recognize what it is that I'm doing and I feel the energy coming in. Hey, Kenneth, good to see you, love. And so I always have to slow myself down and make sure I take care of my needs in that regard and that light so that I maintain my light. Okay, this is the energy at play today, guys. Excuse me. There is a karmic nature associated to how things are managed today. Okay, some of you, this could deal in time management. This could deal with financial energy management. It could also deal with giving and receiving, paying your dues, showing support, taking care of business purchases, right? Buying something that I don't need. I just have my money up. Now I can't re-up. It's also like what feels like not buying something, not purchasing something, not what could be like supporting someone, not taking care of something. It's going to result in a lesson learned. What this will do, what this means is that, and this could indicate balance too, right? Not handling what could be like your affairs, the things that need to be taken care of, not giving attention to things that are needed, or again, you taking care of those things that may be delicate, hanging in the balance, taking care of those things that are deserving of or warranting of care being taken. How am I going to handle this? You handling it in a way that I feel does show the care, does take care, does I don't know why it feels like the same energy that you give to something or someone is the same energy that you're going to get back. So I do feel like, yeah, I hear, what is her name? You better be careful what you do to me, 'cause it might turn around on you, Sparkle. You better be careful what you say to me, 'cause somebody might do it to you. If the shoe fits, wear it, girl. I do get a day of handlers. So this means also like if you're prone to give, but you're in a position where there are other things that you need to take care of, manage or handle, you could be in a position where Spirit is saying today, like, don't that's not for you to take care of, that's not for you to give to. You have other things that you're being asked to handle or to take care of or to manage. And what feels like, this is the beauty, right? When there's a lesson learned, don't let that scare you, don't let it frustrate or upset you. This simply says the way that you handle something or someone is everything. The way that you handle situations or circumstances is everything. And if you mismanage, then the lesson learned is what feels like learning by doing and then finding out. This is alpha and omega energy today. So there will be a result for the way in which things are handled or managed today. Okay. And again, this is including people. And it's almost like if you take care of people, this feels as though people are taking care of you. Some of you, I don't know why I'm getting the energy or significance around some things that you've been working on, right? It also feels like there could be some things that you have been studying or seeking to comprehend, and today could have everything to do with what you do with that knowledge, what you do with what it is that you've learned, what it is that you do with. I feel this strength, what could be of information it is that you gained, how you use it is everything. How you use whatever this power is everything. And I do feel a spiritual sensitivity that is at play. So I do feel where there's misuse or abuse, because there's a heightened spiritual sensitivity. There's a knowing when someone is devoid of emotion, when they're being insensitive or when they're being withdrawn. That energy is also felt in what feels like it's almost like something surprising takes place. And I'm gonna leave it at that. We'll jump into this more when we get the extended messages. I love you. Like, follow, subscribe. Going over to Spotify for our brief, and then we'll come back for extended. Bye for now.